Ever notice how when a woman cheats, she doesn't always act guilty? Sometimes she's extra nice, sometimes she's irritable, and sometimes she becomes the victim. Now, that's because guilt doesn't show up the same way for women as it does for men. And that's a fact. Men confess to relieve guilt. Women manage guilt to protect emotional control. If you've ever sensed something was off but couldn't explain why, this video will give you clarity. Jessica OS here. Welcome to the channel. Remember to always look out for the channel name Jessica OS before you watch a video to be sure the advice is coming from me. So, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 5 psychological behaviors women display after cheating, why they happen, what they mean, and how to tell guilt from genuine emotion. Let's start with the most confusing one: overcompensation. Sign 1, overcompensation, the too much love phase. You know that sudden burst of affection that almost feels too good to be true? She's hugging you more, texting you sweet messages out of nowhere, talking about us like she's fallen in love all over again. You start thinking, wow, maybe she finally got back on track. Except that's not true. What's actually happening here is psychological compensation. When a woman cheats and still sees herself as the good person, her brain enters what psychologists call moral balancing. It's a subconscious attempt to even the score. I did something bad, so now I need to do something good, right? She turns up the love. She gives you gifts, plans romantic dates, becomes more sexual. But underneath that affection isn't genuine passion, it's guilt management. You can usually tell because the energy feels forced. She's not connecting. She's performing. She's trying to erase the wrong in her head by being the perfect girlfriend for a while. And deep down, you can feel the disconnect. It's in the timing, right after a weird weekend, a secretive phone call, or a sudden mood change. It's in how she praises you, more like reassurance than real admiration. It's in how she touches you, gentle but detached. And the real giveaway is, the affection does not last because it's not rooted in desire, it's rooted in guilt. Now, once that temporary moral relief wears off, her energy will drop again. She goes back to being distant, distracted, defensive, and you'll be left confused. So, when her love suddenly doubles overnight, don't just enjoy the attention. Observe it. Ask yourself, what changed? What triggered the shift? Because real love deepens over time. Guilt love spikes and then crashes. Sign number 2. Irritability and random anger. Irritability and random anger, when guilt turns to hostility. Now, ever notice how out of nowhere she starts getting irritated by everything you do? Your jokes aren't funny anymore. Your habits suddenly bother her. She nitpicks your tone, your timing, your presence, you name it. And basically, you're left asking yourself, wait, what did I even do? The answer might be nothing. When a woman feels guilty, her mind goes to war with itself. Part of her wants to suppress the guilt to keep things normal. The other part can't stand being reminded of the man she betrayed. That tension has to go somewhere. And so, she redirects it towards you. Psychologists call this emotional displacement, projecting uncomfortable feelings onto a safer target. And who's safer than the man who still trusts her? So, she finds reason to be angry. Tiny ones, manufactured ones. It's her mind's way of saying if I can find fault with him, I don't have to feel so bad about what I did. Here's how it plays out. She'll start arguing over minor things like how you loaded the dishwasher or forgot to text her back. She'll act distant, but when you ask if something's wrong, she'll snap. Why are you always assuming? She may even accuse you of the very thing she's doing. Flirting, being secretive, acting off. This is an emotional volatility. It's guilt that's morphing into justification. If she can make you the Problem, she doesn't have to face her own actions. And the biggest trap is most men respond to that anger with reassurance, apologizing, fixing, walking on eggshells, which only confirms her rewritten story. See, I'm not the bad one. He's just difficult. So, here's the clarity you need. When her irritability feels irrational and disconnected from reality, don't chase calm. Watch for patterns. If every conversation somehow loops back to your flaws or your mistakes, you're not in a fight. You're in a guilt projection loop, okay? So you want to distance yourself emotionally and just observe. Because in guilt-driven anger, she's not trying to connect. She's just trying to cope. Sign 3, defensive overreaction. When innocent questions trigger explosions, you ask a simple calm question like, "Who were you texting?" Or, "Why didn't you answer last night?" And suddenly she's furious. Her tone sharpens, her eyes shift, and she fires back with, "Why are you being so insecure? Don't you trust me?" Or the classic, "You're acting paranoid." If these sound familiar, know that it's not normal communication. That's a fear-based defense response. The psychology behind it is this. When someone carries guilt, their nervous system is already on edge. They're hyper-aware that at any moment the truth can come out. So, even neutral curiosity will feel like confrontation. It's not your question that's triggering her. It's her conscience. A woman who's done nothing wrong answers questions calmly. A woman who's hiding reacts as if she's being attacked, because deep down, she's fighting that private panic. What does he know? How close is he to finding out? Etc. Right? This is where most men get manipulated, because the louder she reacts, the more you start doubting yourself. It's classic gaslighting. You think maybe I'm really overreacting. That's exactly how guilt protects itself, by flipping the emotional burden. So, here's the pattern I want you to watch. Over justification, she gives long, unnecessary explanations that sound rehearsed. Gaslighting. She reframes your question as insecurity or control. Avoidance. She changes topics fast or distracts you with affection or humor. Each of those are an emotional smoke screen. Keep that in mind. It's subtle because she's not always lying outright. She's dodging clarity. A guilty person avoids precision. They prefer emotional chaos because it keeps you from thinking clearly. So, here's your clarity. If your calm curiosity repeatedly triggers disproportionate emotion, it's not communication, it's concealment. Yes, she's trying to hide something. If you notice her energy shift from open to defensive the moment you get close to the truth, don't push harder. Just pause and observe. Because you see, the truth doesn't need defending, only lies do. Sign number: sudden effort to fix things 4, sudden effort to fix the relationship. So, you've been arguing for weeks. She's been distant, distracted, emotionally checked out, and suddenly she's all in. She wants to talk things through. She's suggesting therapy. She's saying things like, "I've been thinking about how to make us stronger," or "Hey, I really don't want to lose you." And for a moment, you exhale. You think, well, she's had a change of heart, and maybe she finally sees my worth. But I want you to slow down at this point. That's not always reconciliation, you see. Sometimes it's redemption. See, when a woman cheats, her sense of identity takes a hit. She doesn't just betray you. She betrays her self-image. And if she sees herself as a fundamentally good woman, that dissonance will eat at her. So instead of confessing or walking away, she tries to fix the relationship. Not to heal, but to restore her self-concept. In her mind, she's thinking, if I can make him happy again, maybe I'm not a bad person. If we get back on track, maybe what I did wasn't so serious. And that's why her effort will feel urgent, emotional, and also inconsistent. It's driven by guilt, not grounded in genuine reasons to repair emotionally, right? You'll notice the signs. Energy is rushed. She's desperate for things to go back to normal. She's affectionate, but avoids specifics about the real problems. She apologizes vaguely. Oh, No, I haven't been myself lately, but never gives you details as to why that's the case. What's happening is she's trying to rewrite the story without facing the truth. If she can save the relationship, she saves her reputation in her mind and maybe even in yours. But that version of saving comes with strings. You become emotionally responsible for maintaining her relief. She's no longer fixing you, too. She's just fixing her guilt through you. And that's dangerous because it makes you mistake her effort for emotional honesty. But honesty is slow. Effort is fast. Honesty is uncomfortable. Effort is comforting. Here's your clarity. Real change is consistent, humble, specific. Guilt-driven change is intense. It's temporary. It's vague. So when she suddenly wants to rebuild, don't let your relief blind you. Ask yourself, is she addressing what actually broke us, or just trying to silence what's haunting her? A relationship can be repaired, but not when guilt is holding the hammer. The confession, sign 5. The confession that makes you feel guilty. Picture this. She sits you down, tears in her eyes, and says, I need to tell you something. Your heart stops. You brace yourself, and she admits it. I cheated. You expect the truth to bring peace, but instead, you leave that conversation confused, emotional, and somehow maybe even guilty. Let's break down what just happened. You see, when a woman cheats, the guilt becomes unbearable. She may confess, but not to set you free to set herself free. She's not looking to heal you. She's just looking for relief, right? And the fastest way to achieve that relief is to shift that emotional weight back onto you. So, listen carefully to how she frames her confession. It will sound something like this. I was lonely. You weren't giving me attention. We were drifting apart. I made a mistake, but you made me feel invisible. That's not accountability. That's emotional inversion. She's flipping the power dynamic by mixing vulnerability with blame, right? Psychologically, it's a self-P protection or protective confession. Her brain is saying, if I explain the pain that led me to cheat, maybe I won't look like the bad guy. And it works because you care. You start thinking, maybe I really was too distant. Maybe it was my fault. Before long, you're comforting the woman who just betrayed you. It's not reconciliation, it's manipulation. Here's how to tell the difference between a genuine confession and a guilt-driven one. Hear me? So, genuine remorse centers the harm she caused. Guilt manipulation centers the pain she felt. Genuine remorse takes full ownership. Guilt manipulation shares or shifts blame. Genuine remorse accepts consequences. Guilt manipulation seeks emotional reassurance. Genuine remorse focuses on your healing. Guilt manipulation focuses on her image or relief. If she's crying, apologizing, but constantly explaining, she's not necessarily processing guilt. She's repackaging it. She wants forgiveness without accountability. And if she says things like, oh, I just want us to move forward without giving you space to process, what she's really saying is, hey, let's fast forward my past guilt so I can feel better. Don't fall for that illusion of closure. Closure doesn't come from a confession. It comes from consistent honesty afterwards. So if she confesses but continues to hide details, dodge responsibility, or center her emotions, you're not being healed, you're being handled. So this is the clarity that you need. Hear me. True remorse has no defense. When someone is generally sorry, they don't argue their case. They just accept the cost. If her confession leaves you more confused than calm, that wasn't an apology. It's just simple strategy that she's executing. Remember that, guys, understanding guilt requires becoming perceptive. When you know what guilt looks like, you stop being confused by all these mixed signals that guilty women give you. You stop mistaking overcompensation for love, and you stop internalizing the chaos as something that's your fault. You see, clarity is power. It doesn't make you cold. It makes you calm. And once you're calm, no one can play on your emotions again. So, I guess what I'm saying is, if you want to learn how to read behavior and emotion this clearly in real time, then here's an invitation to join my 30 Days to Confidence Challenge. It trains you to stay composed, grounded, and sharp, even when someone else is trying to manipulate you emotionally. It teaches you about confidence in different scenarios, not just in love. And in 30 days, you'll be a completely changed man. Check it out. Link in this video's description. My name is Jessica O.S. Thanks for watching. I'll definitely see you in the next video. Adios.